that Jesus will continue to make God known to the world. And he even says this, as we read in verses 20 through 23, that through the unity of those who will believe, the world will know God and will believe that he sent Jesus into the world. Jesus also promises us in verse 26 that he will continue to make God known, that the love with which you have loved me may be in them and I in them. Jesus emphasizes again that he and the Father dwell as one in the believer. It is through their presence in the believer that testifies to their glory through the believer. Now, I want you to turn to Exodus chapter 34. I'm going to read the verses 29 through 35. It says, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, and he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone, because he had been talking with God. Aaron and all the people of Israel saw Moses, and behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the leaders of the congregation returned to him, and Moses talked with them. Afterward, all the people of Israel came near, and he commanded them all that the Lord had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. And when Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil over his face. Whenever Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out and told the people of Israel what he had commanded, the people of Israel would see the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face was shining. And Moses would put the veil over his face again until he went in to speak with him. Being in the presence of God caused Moses to glow so strongly that if he did not put a veil over his face, he would have blinded the Israelites. Literally. Well, I say that we have the glory of God in us. Let us rip off our veils and so shine before men that, like Paul, they will be blinded, that they may be saved. When I began speaking with you tonight, I asked you to think about why Jesus intercedes for us. And I also asked you to think about a statement that instead of God loves you and has a wonderful plan for you, which is true, to think instead about the truer statement that God loves his Son and has a wonderful plan for him and loves you and me enough to give us a place in it. I hope that you can see this truth and how much more encouraging that is. And as we read scriptures tonight, we talked about 3 things that Jesus prays for us. We talked